This connected, we'll get started. So today I will be just painting a local scene. I'm using Stonehenge Aqua. This is 8x10 piece that I'd cut out, so it'll mat to something like this. Get an idea what's going on. And with this, I'm going to focus on 3 colors, the triad: indigo, the brown madder, and quinacridone gold. It's a really fun trio of colors to work with. So I'm just going to be using mainly the Hake brush and the rigger. So just wet the paper. It kind of just starts to relax and soak out. And we'll get the palette set up. I have 2 different brands of the quinacridone. There's definitely a difference between them. I don't have a preference, only because I have not used this triad that often, like maybe 5 or 10 times, and I don't really use quinacridone with any other palette. The indigo is Da Vinci. There's definitely differences in the indigo between brands. Once again, no preference. The brown madder is Da Vinci. I think I went with those because of price wise. Indigo is usually just some sort of blue mixed with a black. I'll have to research that and try to give you all information on it, because most likely, rather than having it as a convenience color, you could have a black and mix it on your palette with one of your blues, just like Payne's Gray. Except the indigo is just way more bluer than the other. So with this one, I'm going to do a local scene that I do quite often. It is mainly comprised of just a horizon line, an old drawbridge, and then a church in the distance, and then trees and water. I've done it so much that I really don't sketch it out at all anymore. Sometimes I'll do little pen and inks of them and fill them in and with watercolor, just light wash. Whenever you paint, sometimes, I hate to use the word like selling out, but if you want to get your art into local houses or local businesses, local scenes that are very popular, are often very great sellers. I also donate this scene a lot, so if like a local charity function is doing a raffle fundraiser, selling tickets, auction, anything like that, I usually do one of these paintings to donate to them. And the donation ones often raffle or sell for more than I would sell a painting myself. So if you're an artist, that's a good way to get your name out there and to give back to just your community. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but we had one that we had the local copy shop. They had printed it up on a canvas for me of the watercolor, so they printed it on canvas, and then my buddy had put a cypress frame around it, and he did it at his auction for the Rotary Club, which they do for local city improvements, the fundraiser. For example, like a splash pad at the park, or I think they they built a skate park for the kids and things like that. But anyway, so that print of it, it auctioned with the cypress frame and whatnot for $500. It was like truly amazing. So, I personally don't have $500 to donate. I don't have like $100 to donate, but if you can do that and create something and donate and have something like that go back to the community, it's a really good thing. Another big thing, donation wise, so I guess that's what I'm going to talk about today, because it's just like I said, a trio of colors: the indigo, brown matter, and the quinacridone gold. So there's not too much going on, and I'll explain from time to time, but I guess today's ramble will be talking about the charity and whatnot. If you know somebody that does like Relay for Life, those people do raffles as well, so you could donate your artwork to them. If you have a kid that's in school and they're doing a school function, often a donation of your artwork will be good, or a print of your artwork, even if it's just a adding to a basket of items that they're raffling off. It's just good. Washing of the gold came in the top down with some indigo, and then took some brown matter for the tree line. And I think what I want to do is dry this off. So this will be my undercoat, and then we'll put in a little bit more structure with the trees. I'll put in the church in the background, and I'll put in the bridge. While I'm drying, I can't kind of sit still when I'm drying, so I usually mix or get an idea what I want to do on the next part. Hope I'm not live streaming upside down. You can see how beautiful these colors work together. Just nice, soft. So now I'm gonna get some tree structures in. I'm gonna go very fast and loose with this one. I'll mainly use the hake. And doing a scene over and over again, like this one, it allows you to try a lot of different things. It lets you to break loose and, you know, try it in one color scheme, try it in another, try, you know, like I just came down with those reflections. Sometimes I'll go horizontally and kind of disperse that. I don't probably want to be doing that, but, you know, experiment with that. Use the local scenes. Seeing what type of dark I can get with the indigo and the brown matter. I think brown matter is like a quinacridone pigment as well. What it's made out of. I think it used to be like a fugitive, like Madder Lake and stuff like that. I'm just going random with these patterns. Get some diversity up in there. Now, for the church, I have to go on the bluer side with that. Push it back. I'm just going to use the rigger to put it in. Now, this church will come up, and it has kind of a little extension, or a little widening where the clock is, and then it'll come up from there. This is darker than I would like, so I'm going to wet it down. Really no rhyme or reason to the color that I'm using right now, just to get some variety and kind of get it lighter in tone and not as warm, to help it sit back like that. Feed in some darks into the wet to get some interesting things going on. And what I'll do is I'll just come off the side. I don't know the names of the components of buildings. And this just so happened to center itself right in the dang middle of this painting. But yeah, so I don't know the names of the different components of like the church. I don't know if it's called the rectory or what, but you have the steeple and whatnot taking place. Just gonna bring that light there. Yeah, just feed some color in, or different tones in for variety. Okay, so we got that. That guy's reflection is going to come down, obviously. The other thing with the hake, you could really kind of just, not the hake, the rigger, you kind of just scribble with it. Just put some different tones in there. Now in this scene, there is this historic building right in here. It's a red building, so I'm gonna just give the idea of it. It's like an oyster bar or something like that. It's like but it's a 2 or 3 story building. I don't really know what the history is behind this building. Get a little bit of that guy's reflection down here. Now, I'm going to do another dry off, and I'm going to put the bridge in, and then I'll probably call this one done. Unfortunately, I have paint on my fingers, so I've been getting it out and about. Trouble being a lefty. Actually, that's not true. Being a lefty has nothing to do with it. And since this is so, I guess, minimalist and fast and loose, with this bridge, there's only a few things I always keep in mind. So I have it come out along, so I'm using a dry brush with darker paints. It's going to come towards us. Just for like the sake of perspective, it gets bigger as it comes from us. We have the side of it. With the drawbridge, it has these two components on either side that will come up, and here closer so it gets up higher. This part's a little bit further away from this view, so it always a little bit lower on the left side, the left line. Then I connect, give some texture for that. There's these wheels and pulley systems. There's these cross supports. Then you get the reflection of this guy. We'll get reflection down here of these pieces. So I'll bring that down. Add a little bit of interest right along there. Then either I'll take the rigger or just see with the hake and do the cables. At the end, there's two posts. Those posts come down a little bit, so I'll sometimes have the reflection in. Telephone wires, yeah, that's the word. Use the rigger. Telephone lines do come along with this guy, so sometimes I put them in, sometimes I don't. And if we want, that. And now the painting is pretty much done, but I do want to take a dry hake. So it'll give more texture. Get a little bit of red on there. And we'll go. Just this guy. Little movement in the water. Kind of does a little framing device with it. Horizontal textures of the water, movement. And you know what? We're going to sign it and dry it off, and it'll be done. Okay, now for you all to see what it would look like under a mat. Turn it sideways. And there you go. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to follow along, or find a local scene like this and just try this approach. I think you'll enjoy it. All right, have a great day.